Millions of years ago, when vast grasslands stretched endlessly across Africa, early humans began their long journey of survival. The world was wild and unpredictable, filled with predators lurking in the tall grass and the constant struggle for food and water. Among the many creatures that shared this harsh landscape was the wild warthog, a small but fierce animal that became one of the first challenges for humankind. The hunt for this tough and intelligent creature marked a turning point in human history, where instinct began to blend with strategy and teamwork became the key to survival. The wild warthog was no ordinary prey. It was fast, muscular, and equipped with sharp tusks capable of inflicting serious injury. Early humans quickly realized that brute strength alone would not be enough to bring it down. Instead, they had to rely on planning and cooperation. These early hunters, such as Homo habilis and later Homo erectus, began to develop new tools and tactics. Sharp stone flakes became their knives, and long wooden spears hardened by fire became their weapons. For the first time, hunting was not just about chasing, it was about thinking. Hunting a warthog required patience and careful observation. Early humans learned to study the animal's habits, its feeding grounds, resting spots, and routes to water. They noticed how warthogs often returned to the same mudholes or shaded areas, how they relied on keen hearing to detect danger, and how they bolted into burrows when threatened. This understanding allowed humans to predict their movements and plan ambushes. Sometimes, the hunters would wait for hours hidden behind bushes or rocks, using the direction of the wind to mask their scent. Every hunt became a lesson in nature's rhythm. When the moment came, the hunt unfolded like a silent dance of coordination. One group of hunters would approach from the downwind side, creeping quietly through the grass. Their goal was to startle the warthog and drive it toward another group lying in wait. With a sudden shout and movement, the warthog would panic and sprint into the trap. Spears were thrown with surprising accuracy, wounding the animal and slowing it down. Then the hunters moved in together, using teamwork to finish the hunt swiftly and safely. This cooperation was more than survival, it was the beginning of human society. The victory was always celebrated. The tribe gathered around the fallen animal, grateful for the food it would provide. Every part of the warthog had a purpose. The meat was roasted over fire, the bones turned into tools, and the hide used for clothing or shelter. Around the flickering flames, the hunters shared their story, laughing, teaching, and passing down what they had learned. These nightly gatherings strengthened their bond and became the roots of storytelling and shared memory. The hunt was more than just a meal, it was a moment that united the tribe and passed on knowledge to the next generation. Over time, hunting techniques evolved as humans grew more intelligent. Spears became sharper, traps more creative, and strategies more sophisticated. They began to understand how to use the terrain to their advantage, how to work in larger groups, and how to store food for later use. These small steps were monumental in shaping human progress. The hunt for the wild warthog was one of the first stages where humans began mastering the art of strategy, communication, and invention. Each successful hunt taught them something new about teamwork, patience, and survival, skills that would eventually lead to farming, building, and civilization itself. Though small compared to giant prehistoric beasts, the warthog was a worthy opponent that pushed early humans to adapt. Its cunning forced them to develop tools, plan ahead, and cooperate like never before. The lessons learned from hunting such creatures were passed down through countless generations, becoming part of human nature. What began as a struggle for food slowly evolved into a story of learning and progress. When we imagine those ancient hunts across the sunlit African plains, we see the spark of humanity's greatest strength, intelligence guided by unity. The wild warthog, once a symbol of danger and difficulty, became a teacher in disguise. It taught early humans that survival depended not on strength alone but on working together and thinking ahead. From those humble beginnings came everything that defines us today: our creativity, our communication, and our endless desire to overcome challenges. In that distant past, every hunt was more than a chase, it was the birth of understanding, a glimpse of what humans could become. And in the dusty footprints of those first hunters, we find the earliest traces of civilization itself, all beginning with a small, fierce creature called the warthog.